This episode of the podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/lightscameranonsense. Visit patreon.com/lightscameranonsense to help support your favorite new movie podcast. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
Yeah. I'm wearing cat ears.
Yeah, you are. And I'm Zach. Maybe a Palpatine, maybe a fucking... No, wait, let's redo that. That's awful.
The whole thing?
No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lights, Camera, Nonsense, where we give you all the latest movie news you may have missed. I'm Nick, the Jellicle Jelly. A jelly cat. I'm a jelly cat.
And I'm Zach. I need oil because I'm super rusty. Smith.
And on January 4th, January 4th, 2020, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Is that why you're wearing cat ears? Oh, wait, no, I just realized why you're wearing cat ears.
Yes, yeah. I had to be prepared. I had to get in the mindset of cats. We'll get into it. On January 4th, 2020, let's roll into the previews. Zach, what have you been watching?
Oh, man.
It's been a while.
It has. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot second.
We were supposed to record last week, and I suddenly became gravely ill. In the sense of I wasn't that gravely ill, but I was ill enough to be sidelined for almost a full week.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Ruining everything.
So in the interim, as I was recovering, I watched quite a few things. For one, I watched a little bit of According to Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, you did. Great, good news.
A little bit. Just it was like an episode and a half.
Oh, okay.
We watched,
still something.
We watched the tattoo one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think? What'd you think of the show?
It's good. It's funny.
Yeah.
Know, that's Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, it is. At his Jeff Goldblumiest.
He is an original, one and only. That's for sure.
I just want to know what happened to him to make him the way that he is.
Well,
let's get into it.
I don't know.
He's so weird, and that he's 80 to 90% of the show, right? It's his quirkiness and the way he interviews people, his questions about the subject matter.
The whole point is that he's being Jeff Goldblum around these things. It's not so much like these things are interesting. It's I want to see what Jeff Goldblum does around these things.
Yeah.
You know? So it was fun. Probably kind of pick at that here and there.
Yeah, you can watch any episode in any order.
And then Casey and I also jumped on Encore.
Encore. The Kristen Bell?
Yeah, it's Kristen Bell, although she's hardly in it. We watched that, which, for those who don't know the premise, the show takes these theater productions, from high schools in the years past, and they redo them years later with some of the same cast and the same roles that they were in the original production. And it's all about kind of improving what they did, or there's a whole I guess a social aspect, but they get to the bottom of your insecurities as a child and your insecurities as an adult.
Oh, God, I don't want any of that to happen.
Things that you wish you would have done, or mistakes you feel like you made, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a very small part of it. The episodes are only, I think, 50 minutes long. And they have 5 days to put on, to learn all the lines, to get all the moves.
Is there a prize involved? It's if they accomplish it, or
no? It's just for a good feeling.
I feel like most people. Let me speak for most people.
Please do, because I'm sure they would all appreciate it. You as the authority on most people.
Yeah, I know how the average human American. It's set in America mostly.
Yes, it's all in America.
All in America. I know how most Americans think. All right. I don't. No, I have to say that most people, I feel like they don't want to revisit kind of their high school years. They don't want to go back and do the embarrassing thing, or have to
Well, you have to remember, these are people who are part of Jesus. Oh my God. I really just started with I. I'm going to go with the Roman numeral I.
Wow. I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like, what are you talking about?
A.
Bullet point 1.
Indention, first line. These people were either in like a high school theater,
Yeah.
Production schedule, so they did multiple shows over years of their high school career, or they're in like a community theater production thing.
Yeah.
So like that's like a amateur level, but like leaning towards professional. So like the whole embarrassing yourself thing isn't really a thing.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So they were all really well done when they were younger, and now they're just going back and
more or
doing it
less,
again?
yeah.
So it's the embarrassing part will probably come as an adult, not necessarily as when they were teens.
Yeah.
Okay. The premise is just flaky to me. I don't know. The theater scene.
Well,
I
it's
never
just
got into it.
it's like a feel good thing. Like these people have grown up. Like the latest one, which just came out yesterday, was the oldest returning cast, I believe, and they were all like turning 50.
Oh shit.
So they've grown up, they've had kids, or they've gone through struggles. There was one guy who was a vet who struggled with PTSD and had like multiple stab wounds and shit.
Tell me he played Julius Caesar in a rendition of Julius Caesar.
No, he didn't.
That would be horrible.
It would be, and you made the joke, so feel bad about yourself.
I will. I do every day.
And that sounds like it has the opportunity to get really heavy, but most of the stuff is like fairly surface level, and they don't really have a whole lot of time in a 1 hour span, because once one episode is done, the next episode is on different cast.
Yeah, okay.
So they don't really have a whole lot of time to like stick with people, but like that's just kind of an extra thing. I feel like it's just really interesting to see like people who were in these high school productions have the opportunity, because when the show comes in, the television show comes in to help them reproduce this, they're taking like Broadway directors, Broadway choreographers. It's like a Broadway style production, but with like super non-professional people.
Okay.
So it's fun for anyone who likes theater
and
shows, that kind of thing.
And it's heartwarming and uplifting and kind of stuff. Okay.
And we also, with Encore, got messed up because we first watched like just 6 episodes straight, like 2 weeks ago.
Jeez.
And we would just put it on while we were eating dinner or something, and then watch an episode that way. And I don't know why, because having watched The Mandalorian, I know the release schedule for Disney Plus
is week to week. Yeah.
But we finished it. We finished those first 6 episodes, and then we just didn't come back because I guess we thought we were done.
Yeah. One downside to
and then
releasing week to week.
Yeah, and we were actually looking at it last night, and they were like, "Wait, there are 2 more episodes here."
All right. And that's the one plus side to releasing week to week.
So we'll have to get used to the weekly thing. Even though that's how I watched Mandalorian. You would think.
What's the matter with you? That's how they do it. It's like World According to Jeff Goldblum. Going back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime a new episode pops up, I get the notification on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, what's he going to talk about this time? Oh, video games? He doesn't know anything about that. That's great.
And then, other than that, I watched 2 movies, which I'll be talking about that and later on in the show.
Oh, okay.
Those 2 shows. And then Casey and I also went and saw Little Women.
Oh, yeah.
Which you saw as well.
Also watched on a whim.
Yeah.
Because I am either not interested in anything in theaters right now, or I've already seen it. So
yeah, this is the 2019 version.
Yes, not the one with Helena Bonham Carter.
I'm sorry?
Was she in one? I feel
not that I'm aware. Susan Sarandon was.
Susan Sarandon and not Helena Bonham Carter. It was Stranger Things.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, she was in one.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, that's the same one with Susan Sarandon. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Like 94 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, watched it. Directed by Greta Gerwig, who did
Lady Bird.
Lady Bird, thank you. With Saoirse Ronan and
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
And
her last name bothers me.
Emma Watson.
And I can't remember the Beth March. You gotta ask your wife.
I was going to, but I'm pretty sure she has headphones in, so and she's in the other room.
So let me just while you're looking that up, I have never read Little Women, and
You've never read it, and you never saw the '94 one, right?
Right. Well, I had seen bits and pieces of it because literature classes and stuff will play clips.
Eliza Scanlon,
who's been in a couple of indie stuff, I think. She hasn't been in
Sharp
anything.
Objects.
Oh, okay.
Baby Teeth.
Sharp Objects is
something with. She's got a movie with Tom Holland coming out in 2020 called The Devil All the Time.
Oh yeah.
But that's pretty much.
Well, that'll probably be high profile if it's Tom Holland.
Excuse me. So you never read it, and you had only seen little bits and pieces of the '94 version.
Spoilers for Little Women?
I guess.
Beth dies.
Yeah.
That was sad. She's sick. She gets better, and then she dies.
Can I ask you? Did you not remember the Friends episode where that's
I explicitly remember that because Joey reacts the same way. I wanted to make a bit, but since you brought it up, I guess that bit's done.
Sorry.
Having no context, having not read the book or seen the previous iterations, I actually thought it was really well done. I thought it was going to be another Greta Gerwig kind of quirky, headstrong female lead, but of course that's just how Little Women was written.
Yeah. Mary Louise Alcott.
Yes.
The original author.
And what's actually kind of funny, the factoid I looked up was that when Saoirse Ronan found out that Greta Gerwig was directing Little Women, this version, she called her after they filmed Lady Bird and said, "I am Jo March."
Oh, wow.
And she's like, "You know what? Yeah, you are, because that's a very Jo March thing to do."
All right. Well, there you go.
So that's how she got her role. And I just thought it was a really well done film. Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet.
Shall I meet?
Shinnaman. I don't like him. I don't think he's a very good actor.
You know him personally?
I don't know. Yeah, I know him personally. Me and Timothy.
You and Tim go ways back.
No, I'm just. So I tried watching The King, which was on Netflix that came out this year, and that's just the story of Henry VI coming to power. And I thought that was really well made. It was from the guy who did. Yes, he made Assassin's Creed, but he also made the Hamlet. Not Hamlet. Shit.
Well, there's been a couple of Hamlets.
Hold on. No, like the more recent one with Michael Fassbender. David Michaud. What's the O with the triangle above it? Or the up arrow?
I don't know.
He did War Machine, Animal Kingdom, Catch-22, which came out this year and was actually a really good show. Hesher, and I'm thinking of a totally different director. But I heard Animal Kingdom was really good. Anyway, didn't finish The King. Medieval dramas are kind of a little bit harder to go through. Anyway, my point was he wasn't even that good in that, and he was the main lead. He was Hotspur. And it's just kind of, I don't like Timothée Chalamet. I think he just comes off as kind of arrogant.
I thought he was fine. He plays,
the main guy.
Laurie. Yeah, Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie.
He plays Laurie in Little Women. He was fine, but I think Casey and I were in agreement that the Machinist, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Christian Bale was in the 1994 one, and we felt like he did it a little better, He, just in terms of being a little bit more...
But you thought Christian Bale...
He just played the character a little better, I think. But we also felt like Timothy Chalamet was fine.
He just looks like he's always sleepy, and then he's kind of just.
I suppose. I don't know. We didn't come out of it going like, "Oh, that was awful," or "Man, I hate him."
My problem with him is that, one, all of the reasons I've already explained, and I won't get too much into it because we have way too much to talk about. Yes. But I feel like he's one of these actors who was really great in one of his very first films, and so his rise to stardom is kind of riding the coattails of his success of that film, which was Call Me by Your Name.
Gotcha.
With Armie Hammer.
Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah, I never did.
Which I feel bad now that I'm talking about the success of that film, but he was nominated and it was his first film. I don't know. When actors kind of phone it in, it bothers me.
How did you? I felt like he was fine. Florence, who plays the youngest.
Yes.
Who is?
Hey,
there's Beth, Joe,
Meg, Amy.
Amy.
Yes.
She plays Amy. She seems a bit too young, too old.
The way they filmed her sometimes to make her look smaller was weird. Like just the perspective of it.
Yeah, they all look around the same age. Meg is the oldest. Then there's Joe. Then Beth. And Amy. And they're all supposed to kind of be staggered a little bit in years.
Okay.
But they all look fairly similar in terms of like age range. So when Amy is like awful when she's quote unquote younger, because the movie is split up into two parts.
The flashbacks.
Well, in this, it's composed in a way where it's taking place in the present, which is when they're all older or dead. And it's flashing back into a framed narrative to the past.
And so the book wasn't written this way?
I don't know how the book was written. I don't believe so, but don't quote me on that. But I'm for sure the 94 version of the film was just start from the beginning and then go all the way.
Yeah, and then we'll cut to the forward.
And I'll get to that in a sec. Amy is like the worst when she's younger.
Yeah. And
so in the previous iteration of this, it made sense because she was an actual child. Like, that was, being an asshole.
Yeah.
And then
being a younger sibling, I would have been more fun.
Yeah, you can put it out of your head as like, oh, well, younger kids can be assholes sometimes. I mean, adults can be assholes usually a little bit more than kids, but,
they can get away with it.
Yeah, you're able to understand it a little bit more. In this one, because she looks the same age as everyone else, it comes off not quite the same. They still get around it because ostensibly the narrative is the same.
You're just supposed to believe that she's
younger. There's nothing really new here aside from the construction of the narrative.
Right.
So you're able to just kind of think like, she's the younger one, and whatever. Yeah. But it's this kind of incongruous. Oh my god. Incongruous. Incongruous with itself,
Yeah.
But speaking of the construction of the narrative, you having never seen or read, any other version of
this is my first dip.
How did it feel to you? Was it disjointed at all? Did it seem like it was a little confusing to tell where we were?
No, I actually felt like the color correction when it came to what was in the past and what was in the present, especially when you start to get a feel of where Joe's head is at, because in present day, quote unquote,
it's a little grayer.
It's a little grayer, bluer, sadder, obviously. Yeah. So that something has happened in her past to get her to that point. And then when it flashes back, it's all bright. It's gold, brown, it's red. It's got all these lively colors. I definitely feel like it was kind of the simple way out.
Did it feel like you were missing some things now? Like in terms of like, I'm not sure how this
It wasn't as confusing as like The Witcher, which we'll talk about. But because that all looks like it's taking place at the same time. I definitely feel like there was two different stories being told instead of one story disjointed. for sure.
Okay. Counterpoint. I'm going to counterpoint it here.
Okay.
Because having seen the previous version and knowing what was happening, I felt like I had a leg up on other people. Like, I could understand where we were in the story, especially at the beginning, because it just starts off when she's in a publishing office.
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're starting here. All right, that's interesting.
Maybe it's a new take on it.
You kind of have the context of everything that has led up to that, you know, and then whenever it's jumping back and forth from the present to the past, you're like, okay, well, now we're here, and nobody really looks that different either.
No.
You're right in that they do the color correction, and they will do a couple things in terms, like Joe's hair for a portion of it is a little different.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're in present, you're like, oh, her hair is long again, and then when it goes back to the past,
if you didn't get
short, and you're like, okay, well, now I'm obviously in the past, but that's not always that way, you know? Well, most of the time it's long in the past, long in the present. So, like, there's not a whole lot of physical stuff going on.
It definitely feels a difference in tone, though, when you're going from the past to the present, to where it's I'm not going to say it's very obvious, but you can definitely tell that there's something going on between when the environment is blue and she's sad and she's walking away from the publishing office, or she's picking food with, or giving food to this poor family that live next door.
I just keep thinking about the lady that was a couple seats in front of us when Beth died.
Yeah.
You know, it does that most of the time when it splits between present and past, it will, like, those will be larger chunks.
Yeah.
But when Beth dies, it's kind of like composed in a way where it's like, here is the 30-second reaction of from when the first time she was sick, and then she came downstairs and found out she was okay.
Yeah,
and then immediately
the very
after,
quick cutting. Yeah.
Immediately after they do, and then here's the 30 seconds the next time in the present where Joe comes downstairs after Beth has been sick and finds out she passed away.
Yeah.
The lady a couple seats in front of us was like, "Oh, it was a dream."
Out loud?
Yeah.
That's funny. I love it when people react out loud. Well, okay. I'll get back to it, but I love it when people react, but in a very, like, confused way. Like they didn't know what movie they were watching.
And that is, like, so not what you want to take away from that scene.
No.
You as an audience member, or as a story writer, or a director, or whatever, you do not want an audience member coming out of that scene thinking like, oh, Beth's alive.
Yeah, she's fine. She just moved away. She got sick and then moved away to a farm upstate. Because the rest of the film is cuts for, you know, there's a long scene or two scenes, and then there's a cut to the present or to the past, and then there's another long bit where they're going through the scene, and then there's a cut to the present or past. But for that third act,
and like everything
climax
in this
of the story.
I said it earlier. There's nothing new here narratively.
No,
it's just the structure that's new, and I understand. Like, you probably don't, especially what's her name, director,
Greta Gerwig.
Thank you. And for Greta Gerwig, who is so, like, out there with a bunch of her stuff, you know, doing a straight up, like, this is the story again, in the same manner, not only the same story, but the same construction, the same characterization.
Yeah.
So, as someone like her, I understand wanting to make little changes here and there to put your own stamp on it, and that way you're not giving the audience something that's pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, as something before. I just wonder... it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I wonder if this was the best move, but... Really,
it could have been a lot.
It's all that's available.
It could have been a lot worse.
You know,
I mean, they could have cast younger actors to play the kids instead of the older ones playing the older ones. But it would be such small roles for the adult actors that the way that she framed it. You know.
But overall,
did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay,
It's still Little Women.
It's
still good.
Yeah.
you can't really go wrong with it, especially if it's pretty much the same thing as before.
Yeah, I liked it.
I have things I like about this one over the 94 one.
Yeah,
but I also have things that I like about the 94 version that are
Christian
more
Bale.
than this one. Yeah, Christian Bale
over Florence Pugh. P-U-G-H. How do you pronounce that? Is what I want to know.
And
what else did you watch?
I believe I watched one other thing, but I only watched one episode of it, and it was meh. It was Daybreak on Netflix.
Oh yeah, no, I saw the preview for that and I was like, no thanks.
Yeah, it was fine. It's like really, it's a zombie apocalypse. It's zombies. I watched it. I should know.
Yeah,
it's a zombie apocalypse in which all adults are dead.
Mm-hmm.
At least after the first episode. I don't know what happens after that. And all the kids in high school have like gone off with their cliques to form gangs.
Yeah.
And then there's this one guy who, I don't fit in anywhere. I'm a typical white hetero male who doesn't fit in anywhere.
I'm kind of the hero.
And I'm looking for my maybe girlfriend. I think girlfriend, but I'm not sure. I'm almost positive later on there's going to be a turn of like, oh, you're just an asshole. Did you ever play Braid?
What? Braid the game?
The game, yeah.
No.
Okay, wow. I was gonna talk about how that game ends, but never mind. It would relate to this.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it was fine. And then, and while we were watching it, guess who plays the principal?
Principal? Shooter McGavin.
Nope. That's the Happy Gilmore character.
Yeah, Shooter McGavin.
Are you
Christopher
saying the
McDonald.
character?
Christopher
or the
McDonald.
actor?
Christopher McDonald.
Okay.
No. The guy who plays Cousin Eddie in the Vacation.
You were
movies.
going way too deep on these.
Will Ferrell.
No. Not that.
Trying to get more current here. I don't know.
It's Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
Oh man, he killed two people.
He showed up, and I'm like,
Got away with
God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about this show, and then Nick's going to talk about how Matthew Broderick killed two people.
Well, then he probably becomes a zombie and kills more people, so.
Yeah, I haven't continued with that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to.
If you don't like it after the first episode, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I think it got, not renewed either.
And then I watched a couple of
other things that we'll get into.
I watched those, and then as I was sick, Casey and I watched Sound of Music, and I had never seen Annie before, so she had me watch
Which
the
Annie?
1999 Annie with Kathy Bates.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That one's good.
So yeah, that was good. I've seen Annie now.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to say about it. I've seen it. It's good.
All right.
And Sound of Music's still good. It's fine.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
I watched so many things. I actually need to go to my Instagram where I post pictures of...
Yeah, did all the things you watch, aside from, like, streaming, like, movie-wise...
Movie-wise.
Were all those in the theater, or did you watch anything outside
So...
the theater?
What do you mean, like on TV and stuff?
Like, any movie you watched in this time frame, did you were those movies that you saw in theaters, or did you see anything outside of movie theaters? Like, was there something on TV, or did you watch something on streaming
outside of
that you had never seen before?
Outside of the usual stuff that I have been watching, no, not really. I haven't really ventured
so all
out.
this stuff is like new.
It's new stuff. So, I mean, we can skip over the obvious one.
Yeah, well, there's one where I think we'll put that on the tail end of yours, so we can discuss it a little more.
So, I'll focus on this, and then I'll focus on this.
Okay.
I'm doing some motion stuff. I'm sorry, audio listeners. So I saw cats.
Yeah. You're wearing cat ears.
I'm wearing cat ears. We mentioned this at the top of the podcast. I wanted to be on theme, whatever the French.
Hey, you look like you just came out of the Cats movie.
Yeah.
Not like like seeing cats, but like
the movie.
You were in the movie
Because I'm that hairy, or
because you're poorly rendered.
Oh,
and you need a patch.
Oh, I just kind of frumped. Oh. Yeah, this is probably one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's the sentiment I'm hearing.
Like, I literally went home. Here was my I watched it because I was like, this would be a great talk on the podcast, and I realized coming out of the movie that it was probably one of the worst ideas I've had in a long while. And I dyed my hair blue.
And wore cat ears.
And wore cat ears to a podcast, to an audio podcast where no one's going to see it. So I went into it. So, do you know anything about Cats?
I know a couple songs, and that what was did it come out in 91? What was the old one?
There was a theater, there was a movie version of the on-stage performance. I think that was like late 90s. It's late 90s. Because I saw people...
98.
98, yeah. Because I saw people watching that instead of the new movie.
Yeah, so that scared the shit out of me as a child.
Yeah.
The 98 costume design, I'm like, what I don't know what a fetish is at this point because I'm 7. But this seems wrong.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I would rather... Oh, God. Your fucking water bottle. It sounded like I broke every bone in your body at once. So, I would rather have the 98 stage version of this. With makeup, with costumes.
Well, and that's what's the crazy thing about this newer version is because they go the CG route.
But they also put costumes on the cats.
And someone made a point I saw that was pretty cognizant, I feel.
Yeah.
Whereas they had a surefire shot at an Academy Award for Best Costume and Best Character Design.
Yeah. Visual effects. If they wanted to.
It's fucking Universal, man. They had the money for it.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, they're one of the few big studios
that's not owned by Disney.
That's not Disney.
Yeah.
They could have put the money behind it,
and they kind of did, but the company that did the visual effects for this film and the
Sonic
and the new Sonic, that ones that redid
no longer
it
exists.
Because everybody hated the old version. That company's going out of business.
Which I don't know if you remember when the whole Sonic thing blew up, they were behind schedule.
Yeah.
And the reason why the visuals looked that way, supposedly, is because they weren't even finished. And that's exactly the same problem
with this.
that Cats had.
This,
so it's
they literally are patching the movie. Or they have patched the movie. Because
at this point they have.
I actually saw it before that got announced.
Yeah. For those who don't know, after the whole kerfuffle of Cats looks like shit, and you have fucking boom mics in the background and everything.
I did not notice that.
There's supposedly a guy with a boom mic and just in a t-shirt and jeans in one of the shots. That had to get edited out. Yeah. So after all that and just the cats in general looking awful, Universal sent out a re-edited copy of the film to all theaters.
So when I went to go see this, it was in the evening. I believe it was Christmas Eve. Actually, let me look at that. It was Christmas Eve.
Oh, good.
So this was a horrible idea on multiple accounts. I was like, you know what? I could be spending time with my family, catching up with them, enjoying the holidays, watching Home Alone 2 for the millionth time. Watched it Christmas Day. Yeah, Home Alone 1 and 2. What the fuck?
It's those licensing deals.
But so I went to go see Cats because I was like, I'm bored. I want to get out of the house. It was a pretty nice day. It was 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Texas. And when I went in, it had a whole bunch of parents with 20 or so kids.
Mm-hmm.
They took their whole fucking family to go see it.
Those kids are gonna need some therapy.
They were screaming, and not in
the terror.
In terror. Not because they were having fun and just being dumb little kids. It was. I saw a 13-year-old girl sitting 2 seats away from me. That was she literally yelled, "Oh my God," several times in this movie, and the parents wouldn't let them leave.
See, this is why I wanted to see the movie, because I always think I keep thinking back on that review, one of the earlier reviews, where it was I've seen Cats. And I've also seen Eldritch Horrors, which no man should see.
Yeah. I definitely read some of the reviews where it was like, I have now seen Cats, and I can... Movies and Cats have been ruined for me forever. So I went to go see it. You've got Jacqueline Dippin' Dots. You've got Scribbly Shonks.
These are the names of the cats.
What?
Yes? What are these?
I'm trying to remember the names. I don't want to remember the names.
Okay.
Rum Tum Slugger. You've got McConaughey, the evil cat, played by Idris Elba.
Well, we know where you put all your attention to. So I should actually remember his name.
Well, Idris Elba. It's okay. So I'll say the actual names. I'll say the actual names. Jenny Annie Dots, I think, and McCavity is Idris Elba, and then there's Skimbleshanks, which is played. A lot of these are unknown actors, and then there's Idris Elba.
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. But some of the
Judi Dench.
Yeah, but crap, what is that other guy's name?
Ian McKellen.
Old Deuteronomy, which is played by Judi Dench. Gus, the theater cat. Okay, so I'm introducing all these characters and actors. The whole movie, the whole premise. So let me get into this for you. The whole premise is that Valerie or Victoria, whatever her name is, the main character cat, the ballerina cat, gets dumped into the garbage because that's what people do with cats now.
Okay. This is a dystopian world in which cats are no longer valued.
Yeah. It's 2019. And then she meets the Jellicle cats. What are Jellicle cats? Well, Jellicle cats Jellicle cats can and Jellicle cats do. So Jellicle cats are Jellicle cats. Jellicle.
Did you commit that to memory just so you could do the bit?
No, I just remember it, and I hate myself for having known it. And they don't give you any explanation, and then for the next 80 or so minutes, you're introduced to a new cat per song, and they're like, "Hello, I'm this cat, and I want to be selected to be the Jellicle choice to go to the Heaviside Lair."
Is this like a suicide cult thing?
You're not far off. The whole point about being the Jellicle choice is that you can be reborn into and be a new cat in a new life.
Oh.
Which means, you're in a cult and you're being sacrificed.
Cool.
By being put in a hot air balloon and sent up into the sky.
Nice. So it's like a mixture of Temple of Doom and Grease.
Yes, actually not far off. Yeah, sure. But on drugs and with more or less fur.
And cats.
Yeah. And cats are not dogs, Judi Dench tells to the camera for the last 3 minutes of the film. Looks directly into the camera, directly into the audience eyes with her cat face. Says cats are not dogs. And then the credits roll.
That's amazing.
You
were saying all these things, and I have to say, it is not convincing me.
No. Stop smiling. Stop smiling because it's not as fun as you think it is. No. This is what's perpetuating Cats' popularity for the last 40 years.
We have already been over the fact that they're making an Emoji Movie 2.
Yeah,
I did not see that one because that didn't look fun. We'll still probably see this one because it looks stupid fun.
It's not stupid fun. I was literally falling asleep at one point. I missed the Skimbleshanks number, and for some reason that's the best song in the whole movie.
Is that the Jennifer Hudson one?
No, that's the Clip and Clop train. He's the train cat. He's the conductor.
Okay.
Played by an unknown
How big are these cats? Because I've heard some...
They're both this tall and this tall. The proportions for the things change. Like, they'll be as big as a chair, and then they will be as smaller than a fork and a knife, because she's got the fork and the knife. There's also roaches with human faces.
Does the defense...
And rats with child faces.
I don't know if you saw, but leading up to the release, Ian McKellen had a defense on the look of the cats by saying that these are not actual cats. Are they actual cats?
No.
No,
Ian
they're
McKellen?
not actual cats. Oh, they are actual cats.
No, they are not actual cats.
No, okay, so Ian McKellen was right. They are not actual cats.
Correct. I'm agreeing with Sir Ian McKellen, the old man, who is just
you
far off the end.
You agree that cats is defensible in some way.
In that they are not actual cats?
Yes. Well,
I mean, factually.
His thing was they're not... People aren't playing real cats.
Yes.
People are living out their cat
inside. No. Cats is horrible. Don't go see it. Just wait for it to come out, and don't give it any more money.
No,
it's already set to lose like over $100 million.
It's part of the docket, yeah. Anyway, continuing from that train wreck, what else did you see?
So then, and it's on my list. We'll get to that. But I went to go see, and I had to drive an hour out of my way to
you had to go to
this.
Plano.
I had to go to Plano, which is I'm within an hour of Plano, Texas. And it's actually the movie theater where they have the 3D
the
Star Wars / Jumanji /
the VR thing.
The VR thing, which I was like, ooh, looks pretty cool. There was lines coming out of the thing, and they have a gift shop.
Oh.
Ooh. I went to go see 1917.
Yeah.
Directed by Sam Mendes. Director of cinematography was Roger Deakins.
So how much better is Cats than 1917?
Fuck you. Not only is 1917 far superior in every way, shape, and form, I've lost my respect for you in this podcast.
That's fine. You never had it anyway.
I mean, I'm taking off the carriers. I'll just go ahead and put those off. It's set in World War One. It's about two young infantrymen who are tasked with warning two battalions about charging forward against the retreating German troops because it's a trap. And one of the infantrymen's brother is in one of the battalions, so he's like,
that's gonna get
sense
ambushed.
of urgency, and
they are essentially trying to thwart the ambush.
Right. So the whole story is you remember Mad Max, right?
Yes.
Fury Road. I should be specific.
I'm very familiar with Mad Max Fury Road.
So the whole gimmick of that. I say gimmick, but the whole gimmick of it is that it's one long chase scene,
right?
For the majority of it.
Yeah.
This is basically from point A to point B to young men who are trying to go literally only a couple miles down the road,
right?
To stop these
like trenches,
right? They have to cross no man's lands.
Yeah.
They have to, they have to fight off a fighter plane pilot, and there's some night scenes.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, right? They have to go through a lot of stuff, and I don't want to spoil anything or get too much into it, but I just think it was beautifully shot.
It was composed all in one shot, or
I'm sorry. That was part of the thing I was trying to explain. So. It's going from point A to point B, but it's all supposed to look like it's filmed in one take, which you can see the hidden takes if you're careful enough. And it's not, but it's like I said, it's beautifully shot so that if you're not paying attention to where they could hide the cut, it looks like it could be one shot.
It pretty much looks seamless.
Yeah. But I was just on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. Well, it looked great, and hopefully I'll get around to seeing it. You sent me a message the other day that was like, here's some showtimes in case you're interested. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm interested. So I go in and look, and it's not wide release yet. It was only available in that
theater.
Theater. So I'm looking at it, and it's saying, okay, yeah, you can see a showing on Thursday.
Yeah. The following
Thursday.
Like after this recording, the Thursday after this.
So I'm like, well,
I felt bad.
I guess I'm not saying it before our end of the year recap. But
that's okay. You can still see it and talk about our next podcast.
But what was interesting to me is there's already so much buzz about it, but a couple of theaters I was looking at, there were only like maybe one or two showings a day.
And what's upsetting is that they're selling out. Like the showing I went to, which was...
And then I looked at that theater just because I was curious, and they had like probably 20 showtimes.
Yeah.
Just spread out throughout the day.
Like, so
just
they have...
day.
Yeah, why not spread that out to more theaters? Yeah. Especially because it's Cinemark. They have the ability to...
Yeah.
Literally, like, fucking... put it on a hard drive and send it to another theater.
Right. Yeah. It was strange to me, but maybe as we are approaching the wider release, more times will be added.
Which I think it's still in contention for Emmys because it was technically released within the window on Christmas. So, I mean, we'll talk about it, but it's definitely one of my favorite films that I've watched this year. I just had a good time.
Good. What else did you watch?
So, I also tried watching, and this was actually just the other night, tried watching The Grudge, which just came out this weekend.
Yeah.
January 3rd.
John Cho. One.
So, I didn't even get to the part of the movie where John Cho was in it.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. I got to the part where, what's her name from Insidious, isn't it?
Rachel?
Nope.
The mom?
Older lady.
Oh, Lin Shaye.
Lin Shaye. I got to the part where she's in it. But then So it was.
You had some troubles.
It was a Thursday night screening. Okay, let me just paint you a picture.
This is New Year's Day.
This was 2 days ago.
New Year's Day.
Was it New Year's Day?
Yeah. Thursday was New Year's Day.
Fuck. So, yeah, I guess I saw it on New Year's Day. They even had Instagram.
No, it wasn't. I lied.
You son
New
of
Year's
a
Day
bitch.
was Wednesday.
Son of a bitch. The day after New Year's Day, I went to my local Cinemark, right? I had bought the ticket with a movie gift card that I had gotten for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I'm an easy buy when it comes to Christmas.
You are easy.
So, go. They have a whole cat song about me. No, was an easy cat.
Easy like Sunday morning. Folgers.
Yeah. As you drink your water.
This is just like thought association. Stream of consciousness.
Easy like Sunday morning. I'm really frustrated because my entire experience. I bought the ticket with a gift card. I'm like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm going to have a good time. Not realizing that I have a big issue already ahead of me.
What's your problem, man?
My problem, I'll get to it in a second, and I'm going to sound like an old fuck again.
That's alright, everybody knows you're old.
I feel old. I get my popcorn, I get my drink. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go in. I walk into the theater where it's still doing the kind of previews. And previews have been lasting like 25, 30 minutes now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, we went... Oh, no, we haven't got there yet. We went and saw the other film.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
40 minutes of previews.
Yeah. That's
ridiculous.
It's the theater and it's the company that's distributing it that are doing it.
Oh, God, that's ridiculous.
Like, we had previews and then we had a commercial for tea and then the movie.
There were commercial breaks for the previews.
Yeah. So I walk into the theater and I see something strange. I see something, and this is standard now. When you buy a ticket for most theaters, like 99% of theaters, you buy an assigned seat,
right?
So that you guarantee your spot in the theater,
correct, yeah.
The one that you want. I walk in. A man and I assume his wife are sitting. Like the man is sitting in my seat and his wife is sitting in the one next. So I'm like, okay. The entire row next to him, next to the seat that I had bought, is empty, so maybe it won't fill out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit in the seat next to him and be a big old bother, because the whole row is empty, and he's going to look like, what's this guy doing? Sit in the seat next to him. All right. Just going to sit, going to watch the previews. The ads are still going. Then, all of a sudden, I see a line of 5 or 6 teenagers, all about the same age, like 17 or so. Already too young for a rated R movie.
Okay.
Actually, technically, can 17-year-olds buy a ticket?
Is R, yeah.
Is R? Okay, my bad. Still.
But
they're all Christmas break.
Shit.
Yeah, but they're all little shits. So it's like 5 guys and 1 girl, and the 5 guys sit, and then the girl sits next to me. And she's like, quiet and stuff, kind of chatting with them. It's still the previews. Okay, don't know why you're talking through the previews. Maybe people want to watch a trailer so that they can be interested in the movie. Don't talk during that. Talk at the end of the trailer. You have a second, like, oh, that looks really good. That looks like shit. It's just common theater etiquette. And then the movie starts.
And they keep talking.
I'm like, okay, but they're kind of talking in like a little bit of a whisper, kind of chatting, and they're like, oh, you brought a blanket? What a loser. I'm like, whatever. And the girl's just like looking over it. I'm like, why are you still talking?
Yeah.
But then she pulls out her phone
Oh,
as the movie is starting.
Oh, no.
and I just kind of do the slow turn to her.
Like, are you serious?
And I keep looking at her for like, it feels like hours, but it's like 30 seconds to a minute. And I don't know if she notices me, but then she puts it away. She's fine for the rest of my experience.
Yeah.
And then the guys start talking at full volume.
Oh, God.
While the trailers are going. And while the trailers were going, they were kind of in and out. But as the movie is going, every jump scare, anytime something slightly spooky was going on, and it wasn't that spooky from what I saw. But
they're clearly overreacting.
Me?
No, they.
Oh, they were. Yeah, they were just like, "Oh shit, get out of there, man!"
Yeah, just being annoying because they think they're funny.
Nobody was saying anything, and because they think they're funny. But it's shut up. People paid money for this. I forgot that this was the holiday season, and they obviously had the day off or whatever. Irregardless, I got about 10-15 minutes into the movie. The main story was about to start happening when I had to just get up and walk out.
Yeah.
I was, and my finger, my pointer finger and my thumb are so fucking close you can barely tell.
Yeah.
It was this fucking close to chucking my popcorn at the guy that was talking. Probably all three of the guys that were next to the girl, because the girl wasn't talking at all.
Right.
But the three guys were just chatting it up and like they were at a fucking bar or something, which they would be too young for.
They would be too young for that.
Yes. Or e-cigarettes, which are banned now.
Well, are they banned? I don't know.
I thought they were outlawed.
I don't know. There's like,
Anyway,
there's like flavoring. I don't smoke.
I was this close to chucking my popcorn and like ready to fucking throw fists. I didn't want to yell like, "Hey, shut the fuck up," because I don't want to be that asshole who's interrupting. Like my yelling. Like I don't want to stoop to their level, basically. But so I just stand up and walk out. The biggest thing though is that I couldn't get a refund for my ticket.
You used the gift card.
So I used the gift card, and the movie had already started.
That's so annoying.
So what would have neutralized everything? What would have made me feel a lot better is if I had just gotten my money back.
Right. Did you ask?
I asked, but they're like, it goes through Fandango, and you use a Fandango gift card. I'm like, all right, let me look it up. As I was there, and they say no. Once it starts, you can't refund it.
Oh, that sucks.
So I mean, grand scheme of things, apparently it's been getting shitty reviews. The Grudge.
I did. I was scrolling through IGN, which I will grab some news headlines for. It's one of the places I grab news headlines, and I saw just the little intro line is this dreary and dull reboot is a rough way for horror fans to begin a new decade.
Jeez. That's harsh. And I tried to go home to watch The Grudge, but it wasn't on any streaming service, so I ended up watching...
The original one?
The original one
or
with
not
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah,
not Ju-on.
American one.
Yes. I mean, I would have settled for any of them, but the only one that was on streaming services was The Ring with Naomi Watts. And that's just...
Yeah, I like The Ring more than The Grudge. I don't even really like The Grudge all that
much. I think as a series whole...
That whole belongs to a series.
I think The Grudge does a better job in its overarching story because they connect better than The Ring.
Yeah.
But
I watched The Ring 2 once, and I was like, all right, that's enough for me. Yeah,
did you know there was a Sayako versus...
Yes.
I think we talked about it on the podcast.
We talked about it briefly. The Grudge Girl versus Ring Girl.
Yeah, basically. And I heard that was great. Yeah. It's okay. This Sam Raimi, you have better stuff to produce. I know that they're making another Evil Dead movie.
Yeah.
Without Bruce Campbell involved at all.
And he's got another Insidious movie on the docket, and something else. Wasn't there another DC thing he was doing?
I fucking don't know. I don't know. So I mean, I went to the theater a lot. My experiences have been from very low to very high. So it's been kind of a whirlwind month.
It seems like it.
And
then we have was there? I know there's one other thing you watched that
you're gonna have to remind me. I always forget.
That we went to go see it together. Is there?
Oh God!
Yeah. Is there anything other than that you saw?
Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good start. Yeah, we went to go see Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so there wasn't anything else that you saw.
No.
So I was gonna say, like, yeah, you had these extreme lows and these extreme highs, and then right smack dab in the middle, there's Star Wars.
Can I talk about how my opinion has just ebbed and flowed so drastically with this movie? It's a little bit
of a roller coaster.
Yeah. It's the fandom. It's the people involved.
I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I just don't want to talk about Star Wars anymore.
Yeah. We were never gonna get anything good out of it anyway, and
I'm rocking back and forth for the listeners. When we came out of the movie, like my first thought was, okay, I don't need to watch another Star Wars movie again.
Yeah.
After finishing The Mandalorian earlier that day.
Oh, you didn't finish it.
Oh yeah.
It was this last week that they finished.
Was it? It was after Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, they had the second to last episode.
No, but
yeah, second to last episode was it came out early before Rise of Skywalker, and then the next week they dropped episode 8, which was the finale.
No, because
motherfucker, I will pull it up.
Pull it up because no, because Baby Yoda healing what's his? Oh wait, that was the episode. That was episode 7. Okay. And because when we were watching Rise of Skywalker, I had it reversed in my head. The healing force power.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head, I was like, yeah, Rise of Skywalker did it before Mandalorian.
Now, to be fair, before either one of those, Knights of the Old Republic did it. So,
all right, put on your dweeb hat. Here you go.
This is not. He handed me his cat ears. This is not a dweeb hat. This is a shame band. This is a shame band.
It's got glitter on it, or not glitter, but the fuzz,
sparkly
fuzz. I'm putting it back on.
Yeah, this was. I feel like for the movie itself, I still feel like it's fine. It's not. There are points of it that I like that are good, and then there are points of it that I'm like, oh no, don't do that.
Did you have a good time watching it?
I had a time watching it.
You had a time, so you're very in the middle.
I am so in the middle. I'm Sweden, baby.
So milquetoast.
Switzerland, not Sweden.
I like the more and more I think about it, the more and more my opinion changes. Like I said, but there are definitely parts of it that I enjoy, much like Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It's funny how different these directors made of films, and like they end up being the exact same when it comes to
for different reasons. The bad on either side. There's like one movie has bad spots, which is the good spots on the other one, and then it's flipped the other way.
Because the entire sequel trilogy is all about trying to rectify or change things about previous Star Wars films.
Yeah, you know when we were fucked on this trilogy?
Oh, it's just like when we were fucked.
Yeah.
When we were fucked. What?
We were fucked from the beginning on this.
Yeah.
Movie. We were fucked from the moment
Disney bought Star Wars?
I don't even think that was the moment. I think it was the moment because if you remember originally, Disney approached J.J. Abrams and said, we want you to do all 3.
Yeah.
And granted, the original trilogy, as we've discussed before, had all 3 different directors, but like they were cohesive in the sense, like narratively.
Hold on, I don't. George Lucas, Irvin Kershner,
and I can never remember his name for Jedi.
Richard Marquand.
You know, like the original trilogy, even though it was all different directors, they had, for better or worse, George Lucas working with people there.
Because he had a story.
And like, as opposed to the prequels, which were just all Lucas and a bunch of yes men, people would fight him on the original trilogy. So I think that's a good middle ground. Like that's why we were able to get away with different directors and like a couple different screenwriters.
And then they changed their mind, right? They did the 3.
What?
They had J.J. Abrams,
originally
Rian Johnson, Colin Trevorrow.
Originally, Disney approached J.J. and was like, we want you to do all 3 of this sequel trilogy. And he said, no, I'm not going to have time for that. So you'll have to I'll do the first one, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when they got Johnson on for the second one, but I feel like Trevo, is that how you say it?
Colin Trevorrow. Like Trevorrow. Tomorrow, but
Trevorrow.
With Trevor.
From Jurassic World. He was originally tapped for episode 9.
Right.
And then Johnson came on. So for better or worse, we didn't get a Trevor Rowe episode 9.
Right.
I am hesitant to say that would have been better.
Yeah, than what J.J. Abrams tried to do.
Yeah. But we were screwed from the beginning. Like, there was never going to be a good... And, like, the issue comes back to JJ. Because not only did he decide he wasn't going to do all 3, which is fine, but he's the type of the director, and I've never been shy about my feelings for J.J. Abrams. He's a very nice man. He seems like he'd be a great friend, but he has a directorial style that is not meant for long-form
for
storytelling.
franchises or anything like that.
He is all about style over substance and about
mystery.
The mystery box. What is this? I'm going to have all these questions here. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Where did Rey come from? Here's a question. Where's Luke?
Yeah.
Here's a question. Who's Captain Phasma? Here's a question. Who's Snoke? He has all these questions lined out. And then it becomes obvious later on there is no plan.
Yeah.
There was no plan.
I feel like that's also on Kathleen Kennedy and the producers at Disney as well.
So I was going to get into this.
Oh, sorry.
Not even from the people behind the camera was this an issue, but from a corporate level down,
yeah.
It was an issue. A week after Rise of Skywalker comes out, we have Kathleen Kennedy saying, from here on out, we're probably not going to do trilogies.
Yeah.
Because, we've been so focused on the Skywalker saga.
Just doing one a year.
And this family, and I feel like now we can just kind of, do one here and see how that goes. And if people like it, we may do more.
A Rogue One, a Solo.
Fucking, like, the next day, Bob Iger comes out and says, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like...
Because they already said everything with
We won't
D&D.
rule out, future trilogies, like basically saying the exact opposite that Kathleen Kennedy is saying.
Yeah.
And there's like, motherfucker, you have Marvel, which is like the shining example of, and granted, it wasn't always great, like Marvel has had its ups and downs, but to have a 23 arc film franchise in which by and large it is positive.
Yeah.
And you motherfuckers can't get down 3 movies.
And they're all in the same building.
Spread out. Force Awakens came out in...
2015.
2015?
Yeah, December 2015.
Spread out through 4 years.
Yeah.
3 movies. And granted they had the singular... they had Solo and Rogue One and interspersed in there too. But you had enough time to plan. Like... I don't know how at no point during this whole fucking thing, you're just like, whatever. It's Star Wars. It's $1 billion property. Maybe put some effort into it, and then you have fucking what's his name from Chef Jon Favreau, doing fucking Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
Knocking it out of the park.
And he's knocking it out of the park with a closed, character-driven, like, buddy cop movie.
There's like 1 or 2 episodes that a lot of people didn't really.
They're a little flatter, but overall, it's not like there are no lows in that show. I never came away from an episode being like, oh well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned earlier the differences between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, or Orig-Tridge, as I'll call it.
Oh, yes, please do.
Let's
hope that sticks.
Prill-Tridge and the Orig-Tridge.
And then the Sec-Tridge.
The Seek-Twidge. Oh, God. Sorry, I had a stroke there. So you kind of had the worst of both of those trilogies kind of combined into the sequel trilogy. You had the Yes Men of the prequel trilogy, and the 3 different directors of the original trilogy.
At no point does it seem like anyone outside of a scriptwriting room, whose name was not either J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, or who co-wrote with
Chris
Terrio for Rise of Skywalker. No one looked over anything, and we can actually, maybe start talking about the fucking movie, which says a lot, because like all these problems with not even just this movie, but this whole sequel trilogy stem from outside just the movies. You know, like there's so many cascading issues here.
There's the fandom as well.
And oh God. We will talk about the movie.
It's a fandom menace.
We came out of the theater after the movie ended.
Yeah.
And the whole time I kept bringing up the fact, was it Collider?
It's probably Collider.
The review that I kept talking about, because it was just fucking baffling to me. I don't want to say...
no, it was I think it was not Empire, it was Variety, or it was one of those. It was a magazine that said it was one of the worst Star Wars films of all time.
No, not one of them. It said it was the worst Star Wars...
Forbes.
Forbes, that's
Forbes.
what it is. Though it was the
financial magazine.
Farbs. The worst Star Wars movie of all time. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck did you watch, man?
Yeah, did you watch Attack of the Clones?
There are definitely problems with this movie, for sure. And I honestly can't decide which way I want to lean in terms of whether I like Last Jedi or...
It's kind of funny.
Or Rise of Skywalker more. Because, like, Skywalker ultimately just kind of feels like it's... No, there's nothing there. It's just like kind of it's a popcorn movie, which, to be fair, that's what Star Wars is
supposed to be.
Supposed to be. You know, it was the first blockbuster, the original
Jaws.
Star Wars.
Jaws.
No, Star Wars. That's where that term was coined. Jaws was the first summer one, I believe.
I guess that's what I mean. Is that it changed the season from December to...
But
summer.
I don't believe the term was coined until Star Wars, because they had people literally lining up around the block.
Oh, okay. And they were breaking them?
Yeah, they were busting those blocks.
Nice. Block breakers.
You know, Rise of Skywalker is a fine movie. It has all the things, like, oh, there's a lightsaber battle, there's a trio, you know, there's humor, and blah, 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 blah. But I keep going back to the Yoda discussion in Last Jedi with Luke, where in a movie that is so, like, I'm going to piss all over everything, essentially, that is a standout scene in which I feel like that scene could fit anywhere in the original trilogy.
Because it's basically Yoda just saying, who cares?
People make mistakes, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like retroactively, that makes Luke's slip up, even though he pulled back at the last minute.
Yeah.
You know, but it was too late before Kylo saw him. That makes that decision a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Luke doing that. You know, I don't think character-wise that aligns quite right, but with the Yoda scene, like, that's a good message. I like that message.
People make mistakes.
And there's nothing like that in Rise of Skywalker. It's just like the first half is MacGuffin quest.
There's a small
barely.
Scene.
Are you talking about
the Han scene?
Yeah. Barely. It's
but
like,
it was more. That was actually more for J.J. Abrams' own scene in Force Awakens. But it was also kind of supposed to be the Force Ghost. Hey, you fucked up. Come on, man.
But I'm not even like approaching that scene from like hey.
Well, it wasn't meta. I'm just saying in the terms of the story. That's what it was trying to do.
There is like you messed up. Kylo's dead. Ben's alive. You know, let's go from there. That kind of thing. So that is kind of there, but it's very brief. And I don't think the end result of that is worth it.
Like just end of the story, basically?
Yeah. So I go back and forth on those, and like Force Awakens is just it's fun. It's the one I came out of the theater feeling the best about, even though it was a retread, you know. But like these with all their problems, you cannot actually sit there and say Attack of the Clones is better.
No, Forbes doesn't know what they're talking about. But I'm going to say something very controversial, and I know I say that a lot on a lot of podcast episodes.
And
but
it happens a lot with Star Wars in general.
I'm just saying, it's just well, with the fandom in general, people are going to react strongly. But when it comes to the original trilogy, the reason why it is such a major influence and why it's such a successful film series to spawn off into a franchise and a whole phenomenon is because it had never been done before.
Right.
It was something that, like, when they walked into
space
the movie
operas
theater,
were not really
space operas were not a thing. There was stuff that was like attempted, but there was nothing like it ever before.
Right.
And now that we've had stuff like that, now that we've had the Infinity Saga, now that we've had Lord of the Rings, now that we've had... I have a point.
I know.
But we've had worlds created, we've had universes created, and characters, stories created that
the bar is higher.
The bar is way higher.
Yeah.
And expectations, regardless of people's opinions being wrong or not, they're way higher. Everyone is, and I say this just in general life, people are way more sensitive about their opinions than they were back in 1977. So, I don't know what I was doing with my hand. I was raising my hands, like holding the bar.
The bar is too heavy.
It's really heavy, guys. I'm holding air here. No, and so when people... I knew that the reactions for Rise of Skywalker, whether it was a masterpiece or not, there's always going to be a large group that don't like it.
But it's like, it's whiplash, man. You know,
there's
no... I'm so sick of both groups in terms of coming from Last Jedi, where you have these fucking poisonous dipshits who will never shut the fuck up for 1 second about how Rose Tico ruined the fucking franchise. That's the other thing I keep seeing is, oh man, they Rose Tico'd, or they
Rose Tico.
They Jar Jar'd Rose Tico so hard. I'm like, do you even remember Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel...
But like with Last Jedi, there's the quote unquote fans who won't shut the fuck up, and then the critics on the flip side who are like, this is the Star Wars movie for non-Star Wars fans, and that's why it's good, because it's actually a good movie and not a Star Wars movie. And then you get Rise of the Skywalker, which is, the fans love it because it's basically just a circle jerk from JJ about, oh, Star Wars of old, Palpatine's back, and don't you remember, like, the final scene is the same thing in Return of the Jedi.
It's literally, he was trying to make all fandoms come together and either love it or hate it.
And you have those guys, the fans who love that shit, they eat it up, and then the critics who are spouting this bullshit about how, like, oh, this one character who's, I'm gonna say it, I don't like Rose Tico, but
as a character,
it's not from a perspective of like, I don't think like she could have, like, I didn't want more of her.
Yeah.
The fact that she's barely in Rise of Skywalker is a bummer because they set her up so hard in Last Jedi. But from a narrative point of view, in Last Jedi, she does nothing but to derail the story.
She, and actually a YouTuber that I follow, I think you actually watch his stuff too, Cosmonaut Variety Hour. He's been reviewing the Star Wars movies over the last couple of weeks, and he brought up a good point. We haven't even talked about...
We haven't even gotten to the actual movie yet.
Well, we kind of have. We've been dipping in and out of it. But what is his name? Oh my gosh, Oscar Isaac?
Yeah, Poe.
Poe, thank you. I don't know why I forgot his name. The Poe-Finn dynamic from Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker was something about, like, he is, a hotshot pilot and doesn't really care about war. It's all about shooting and blowing stuff up. Finn is a child soldier who grew up and he's like, what am I going to do with my life? Finn has 3 love interests over 3 films. Yep. And the problem with Rey, but she grows into her own story. Rey, Rose, and I'm already forgetting her name.
Jara, I think.
Jara? It's not Jabba.
It's not Jabba. No, it's like...
The other former child soldier.
And there's so...
But he has, like, they never knew what to do with Finn, and what they could have done...
They knew what to do with them, they just were cowards and didn't pull the trigger.
Like, actually make him being a former stormtrooper be his, his backstory and use that as motivation.
They set up Force Awakens as there's a very clear dynamic between him and Poe.
Yeah.
And then Last Jedi is all like, no wait, he's not gay. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Here's a throwaway character. Here you go. Look,
I feel sorry for Kelly Marie Tran.
Yes, absolutely.
As an
because
actress.
the vitriol she has gotten through all this is fucking abysmal.
Not just from an acting point of view, but from a fandom point of view.
The idea that someone has to delete their fucking Twitter because they can't actually use it behind all the people who are just vomiting all over her timeline.
The death threats.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they
end up using it in this movie for the first half, and then they bring another love interest in for
and well, they don't even really use it for the first half. They're just like, oh hey, there she is, she's right there.
Yeah.
What?
And my biggest problem with Rise of Skywalker, and I feel like at this point we don't even need to talk about the movie, although we'll probably get into spoilers here for a second. My biggest problem is that it tries for 99% of it to be both fan service and try to be a carte blanche for Last Jedi.
Yeah. Well, and so the first 10 minutes of the movie is JJ going, oh yeah, Last Jedi.
Yeah, let's just brush that off the table.
All right, here's a trash can. I'm just gonna
And then it jettisons forward at fucking Mach speed.
The editing in this is so crazy. You mentioned literally right before we started recording that Dominic Monaghan mentioned that he wanted, he'd be anxious to see a director's cut of the movie.
Dominic Monaghan.
What?
It was just because when we were watching the movie in the theater, we both looked to each other like, "Is that fucking Pippin or is it Pippin or?"
It's Pippin.
It's
Pippin. Yes, it's Pippin.
It's one that's not Sam or Frodo.
Mary has the curly hair.
Yeah, it's the other one. Okay, Pippin from Lord of the Rings, who was already in a 12-hour film series.
Or Lost.
Yeah, or Lost. Like, seriously, dude. Just because you're friends with J.J. Abrams doesn't mean you need to appear in everything he's fucking in. Like, the other guy who's the pilot who dies.
God damn it, I gotta know.
If he's Pippin or not?
No. The fucking character's name. Well, it's... Okay. So... I was...
Director's cut.
Yeah, director's cut. I've been thinking since I've seen it, I would be curious to see what a director's cut, because if you look at something like Kingdom of Heaven, right, that thing was, generally speaking, when people think of Kingdom of Heaven, they think, oh, first cut, terrible, director's cut, fantastic.
That's how it always is with Ridley Scott, though.
Same thing with Troy too. You could say the same thing about that.
No, that movie's just bad. I'm sorry.
It is, but generally people generally would like the director's cut more than just the original.
Because they want to see the director's vision for that film, not the studio's.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of hiring that director.
Yeah. And the editing is crazy, and I can't get too far away from the Finn thing because he is a character with so much promise, and he gets shafted. He
for
had
3 movies.
He had a good characterization in the first one, and they set up a good different romance between him and Poe.
Mm-hmm. And even him and Rey to an extent.
And then Oscar Isaac actually was talking about this last week, where he and John Boyega kept trying to get Disney to pull the trigger on it, and be like, "Yeah, let's do this. Let's go all in on it." And
they don't have to kiss; they can just embrace each other.
I'll get to that later too.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to do it, so you have oh, maybe Finn likes Rey, and then it's no wait, he's really not gay. Stop asking if he's gay. Here's Rose Tico. Then still, he's really not gay, and forget Rose. Now here's a new girl who also, because this galaxy is so fucking incestuous, is actually the daughter of Lando Calrissian.
We don't know that.
In the art direction book, they talk about how it is almost explicitly 98% confirmed.
Then why is he hitting on her in that last line?
I didn't take that as...
I did. Well, let's find out.
And
I want to find out where I'm from.
Not only do they stick Finn with this, like, underdeveloped romance bullshit, but then they do the same fucking thing to Poe on the other side, because they're like, no, really, guys, he's not gay.
Yeah.
Here is Zori Bliss, Kerry Russell.
Oh, yeah. I feel sorry for Kerry Russell. I'm sorry.
Well, and what's crazy about this is she's barely in the movie, and the lead up to this, she was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't take my helmet off during the whole filming, and I loved it. It was a great experience. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it must be a pretty big part. It's the same fucking thing as Phasma.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing.
You see her eyes for like a little bit.
And then like they go from meeting her, and she's got a history with Poe, and she's basically like, I'm gonna fucking kill you and turn you over to the First Order, and then less than 10 minutes later, she's like,
making sexy eyes.
I will help you. Not only will I help you, but I have this one other. There's so many fucking MacGuffins in this movie. I have this MacGuffin that will get you scot-free onto a First Order ship, and I have worked for years and paid a lot of money for this, and I'm just gonna give it to you because I spent less than 2 hours with you.
Yeah. But Babu Freak.
Babu Frick is good.
Yeah. Played by Moaning Myrtle's actress.
Yes, yeah.
Babu Freak! My oldest friend. Yeah. There's some good comedic bits.
All the 3PO stuff, I think, is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
I'm so glad Anthony Daniels finally got some shit to do in this trilogy instead of just...
And the entire French... Well, he was in the original trilogy. He was the main driving force in the original trilogy.
Yeah. Super good. Glad about all the 3PO stuff. I do like Dio, although he's barely in that. And
I actually kind of liked that they not downplayed it, but he's mainly only there for comedic purposes.
Yeah.
He's there for like a foil to BB-8, which BB-8 did a whole hell of a lot less in this movie.
Oh yeah, he's barely even there. He's less there than Dio is.
Like they sidelined it like they did with 3PO and R2-D2 in the prequels anyway. Or not prequels.
So there's the editing, there's the fucking like underdeveloped characterization, there's the baffling logic shit with people, and then there are so many MacGuffins.
Yeah.
So many.
So there's the knife.
There's the map. The first map that Kylo gets to go see Palpatine.
Oh, the triangle thing.
Yeah. There's that.
Holocron.
Oh yeah, the holocron. No, it's not a holocron. It's something different. A holocron's a Jedi thing.
Oh, well, evil holocron.
Evil holocron.
Triangle thing.
There's that thing. There's the dagger, which they just so happen to slip into the right spot in the sand to find.
Yeah.
There's
and also
the second map. They use... Oh, God. I forgot. Yeah.
They pull out the thing.
The knife... The knife is somehow constructed in a way to tell you exactly where to look on the second... or the remains of the second Death Star.
Yeah. Only if it crashed a certain way, and only if you're standing on a certain hill in a certain spot. Well, no,
I mean, let's be realistic here. Obviously, it was after the crash. So post-crash of the Death Star remains, this assassin was like, I really like this Sith shit. I'm gonna, like, craft this dagger.
But also translate it into Sith that only certain droids, I guess, can translate.
Wait, the assassin just had the dagger. He didn't even make the dagger.
Yeah, he didn't make the dagger.
Palpatine made the dagger. It was always Palpatine. Holy shit.
It's just a lot of baffling, huge leaps.
Well, and it's like...
The first line that you see in the opening crawl is Palpatine speaks, or...
The dead speak.
The dead speak.
I should have known. I should have known.
My first reaction, I don't know if you saw it out of the corner of your eye, was...
Well, my first reaction when I saw that, and as title crawls go, that might have been the worst intro.
Yeah.
It's certainly up there. The dead speaks fucking got me hard. It was like...
Wait.
Sorry. Yeah, that was badly phrased.
It's like, wait, what?
I did a double take.
And got you hard, apparently. Very confusing.
That was a Freudian slip if there ever was one. No, it's like the first thing you see is the dead speak.
I'm like, exclamation point.
Oh no.
If we didn't know anything about Palpatine being in this movie,
you wouldn't know, because apparently Fortnite is more important than Last Jedi.
Yeah, I had no idea that was going to be. I thought that was going to be like a clip from the movie.
Yeah.
But apparently, it was an early scene.
It was a voice clip.
Oh, okay.
That broadcasted in Fortnite. So that's when they say, "Oh, a mysterious radio frequency has Palpatine talking." That radio frequency was in Fortnite. So now, not only is Fortnite more important than Last Jedi, but I guess canon.
Yeah. So I guess that means Deadmau 5 or what was the concert? So is Ninja and Drake?
No, that's outside of Star Wars. They are playing the Star Wars canon in Fortnite.
Oh, whatever.
Unless Ninja's in Fortnite. I don't know. I don't play Fortnite. Obviously. Since I was surprised by the dead speed.
Yeah.
The first half of the movie is MacGuffin search. Mm-hmm. And then the second half kind of slows down a little bit. But at that point, you're just like, there's so much wasted potential here. I can see where it's going. Hey, tell me about the Knights of Ren.
Bunch of guys.
They just stand around.
They just go where Kylo Ren goes.
Yeah. There's a knight.
They're not intimidating at all. They don't have lightsabers like we thought they did.
Yep,
they just have a bunch of sticks and hammers.
Just there, and then they're not.
Yeah, and then
it's fine.
You know what? I'm kind of done with you guys. I'm ready to fucking kill you all. So kills them all. What are they doing on Testicle or whatever it's called?
Texicle? Is that what it's called?
No, I think it's Exicle.
Exicle.
It sounds like testicle.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you never make that connection that it sounds like
that
testicle?
They were No. I was responding to the Knights of Ren.
I'm not moving past it.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's just
just tired. I'm just tired.
I'm tired of it. I'm done talking about Star Wars. I just want to watch Mandalorian and anything that's not a movie.
I think we're literally getting we're getting Mandalorian season 2 next year.
Yeah, fall of 2020. Yeah.
And we're also getting Obi-Wan. Isn't this year? Is it?
I think it is this year. Yeah.
This year? And then the Cassian Andor series as well.
Yeah, I don't know when that is.
Wait, is it a movie or?
It's a series.
Series.
Yeah.
Okay, I think all of those were series. So, I mean, we got more Star Wars to look forward to, but it's all stuff that happened in the past, so yay, Cassian Andor.
I just want people to just watch it and then shut up. I'm so
That's what I was going to say at the top of this. Like, before we even talked about it, before we even mentioned Star Wars, I was going to say, can we go back to the time where movies where you just go in, you pay for the ticket, you go in, you're kind of excited for the movie, you watch it, come out of it, and the only thing you're allowed to think or say is some metric of, that wasn't that good, or, I really like that, and then moved on with your life.
Yeah.
Can you do something else with your life? Not go to a message board and tell the entire world about your opinion. Granted, people get paid millions of dollars for this, but
you understand the irony of saying that while we're
wait. I'm just saying, like, our general opinion of this movie was, I mean, okay.
Yeah, we were going a little hard on it, but
I think we were going a little bit tame compared to a couple of people.
But at the same time, yeah, like, I'll probably watch it again. I have watched Last Jedi again. I've watched Force Awakens again. You know what movie I haven't watched? I think I've seen it. Well, no, I have seen that one twice, but I saw it the first time and I could have been fine with just that. But somebody else wanted to watch it again, so we watched it again. The only movie that I've seen, I think once, maybe twice, so that would put it in the same boat as Solo, is Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones?
Yeah.
It's a hard watch.
It really is.
It's a very hard watch. At least episode 1 has pod racing, and episode 3 has the, what is the name of the planet? Mustafar fight. Yeah. Even though a lot of it's just like them swinging lightsabers doing nothing.
Yeah, and in Rise of the Skywalker, and to be fair, in just the sequel trilogy, they do a good job of this too. It's a good blending between the flippy shit and the heavier, like, knights.
I have
thing.
one lightsaber and I can't stop lightning, but 2 lightsabers can stop lightning and reflect it.
Oh god.
I am the Jedi.
Okay, so we're just going. Are we going to do full on spoiler cast here?
I mean, we got a couple minutes.
We basically have talked about everything but the end of the movie. So,
Yeah.
which I have thoughts on, but I don't know if you want to talk about
Let's just
it.
talk about the end of the movie.
Okay.
I don't want to go into the whole movie.
If you don't want to know the actual end of the movie, skip ahead 10 minutes.
I guess. We've kind of dipped in and out of spoiling the movie already.
I mean, we have spoiled some of it, but like we haven't spoiled the end.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Kylo and Ren kissing is stupid. Or Kylo and Rey
It's
kissing is
Ben
stupid.
and Rey at this point.
I
He's
don't
no longer
fucking care.
Kylo Ren.
I don't care.
I do not care.
I wasn't on board with him being called Ben from the beginning because it makes no fucking sense. Han knew Ben, kind of.
Like one for a little bit.
Yeah,
They
and
went
he
to the
died.
Death Star that one time.
There's a reason why. Fuck. No, I'm not getting the EU shit.
What was he gonna call him? What was he gonna call him instead of Ben?
Jason.
Jason?
He calls him in the fucking.
Jason or Jaden?
Or yeah, it's Jason. I think.
I think it's Jason and Jaden,
Yeah.
the son and daughter.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I'm nodding my head.
I don't want to get into EU. It's stupid. I don't like it. Casey was okay with it, but she was wanting that from the beginning, so I guess
'Cause
that's
it's-
a positive.
I think she leans more towards that kind of conclusion in movies, though.
I'm
A
not.
more romanticized version of it.
I would have been fine with them having a moment, and this is not my original idea, so I won't take credit for it. But I would have had them fine with them coming in, like they were for the kiss, and then instead of the kiss, just kind of like touching foreheads.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Intimate.
Yeah.
You can take it either way, and that shouldn't be a relationship.
It never felt like they had a relationship like, and this is we're splitting all kinds of fandoms, we're ruining all kinds of opinions. They don't have a relationship like Poe and Finn had, and I know theirs wasn't as explicit as, say, most action movies or adventure
Well,
movies. Or
you know
whatever,
what
but-
Poe and Finn weren't doing? Stabbing each other.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
trying to kill one another.
Yeah. They
Or
touched
torturing.
fingers. They touched fingers in Last Jedi. That's considered whoopee back in the 50s, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it just never felt like they had a romantic. They definitely felt close, which was weird because
But that's like a force connection thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how I took it. Like they were connected. They weren't romantically involved. There's nothing aside from Rey going like, "Oh, Adam, put your shirt back on.
yeah,
Please don't
Yeah.
don't do this."
your very wide shoulders and nips are distracting me. Yeah.
I just remembered I watched something else that I forgot to talk about, but it's fine.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about something else.
I watched Marriage Story.
Oh yeah, I was gonna watch this after all of what we just talked about.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's good.
Yeah.
That's the point. And Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are fucking phenomenal in this.
Oh,
they
they?
busted it out of the park. Coincidentally, you know who was also in Marriage Story is
Dom Hall Gleason.
no,
It's General Hux.
no, fuck, shut up. Laura Dern.
Liam Neeson. Laura Dern.
Yeah,
She's been popping up in a lot of
and
stuff.
who was also in Little Women. in
Yeah.
Little Women. Yeah,
Good for her.
she's had like a renaissance, which is great.
Yeah, because she was in Last Jedi.
Mm, yeah,
So, look at that.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's good.
Would you recommend
I
Marriage
would,
Story
I would
for a
definitely
single
recommend
guy?
it. Yeah, yeah.
As a cautionary
wait.
tale.
Wait, what'd you say? Would I recommend it over what?
Would you recommend it to a single person who's not
Yeah,
married?
you can still watch it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's a cautionary tale. It's more like
Every marriage is like
it's
this.
the character study, really.
Gotcha.
All
So
right.
Scarlett Johansson wasn't distracting, or
No, I
Yeah.
don't have a problem with ScarJo like you do. I don't know what your issue is.
I feel like she underacts. You saw Ghost in the Shell, right?
You're taking like the worst examples.
Any Marvel movie she's been in.
That's the character, though.
That's no, you can't use that as an excuse. That's not the character.
Watch Marriage Story, you'll be fine.
All right, fine. Yeah. We talked about a lot of stuff that we watched and our opinions on a very controversial couple of films.
Yeah.
Little Women,
Yeah.
controversial,
Very
if I've ever heard
Yeah.
of. We talked about it for a while.
We talked about a lot of these for a while.
We did, we
And
did.
I'm so drained from Star Wars.
I know. I feel like I need water. I'm a little parched.
I can get you water.
Oh, perfect.
And pick up on the mic, though, if you want that.
Oh, I don't. We'll wait. Hold on. Let me outro. This has been Lights, Camera, Nonsense, keeping you updated despite our best efforts. Make sure to tune in every 2 weeks, or whenever, I guess, we do part 1 and part 2. I think I might just release these simultaneously.
Yeah.
Fuck it! For all the latest news, reviews, and how do you do's.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm just liking Star Wars.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I feel like, here's the thing. I want to rewatch Rogue One again because I remember liking that a lot.
Yeah.
I remember liking the visuals for it. And it's solo, even it being milquetoast. I feel like I would appreciate it more now. Is that weird?
I mean, it is a more fine movie than probably